Clear. When I hear all clear, we'll begin the next phase of this investigation.
We will continue to monitor this NBC News live breaking news coverage, and 5 on 2 starts right now. And good evening. We're also following the breaking news out of Florida at this hour, where there are now confirmed numerous fatalities following a high school shooting. This a live look at that scene. This all started about 2:30 this afternoon at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. That is in Parkland. That is just north of Miami. The Broward County Sheriff's Office says at least 14 victims have been taken to the hospital, but the exact numbers of dead and injured not known at this time. But dozens of students could be seen frantically running out of the school as police urged them to evacuate as they cleared portions of the school building. A fire drill at the school early in the day also added to some of the confusion.
We were all standing there, and then that's when we heard the shots and everyone started running.
And so did you think to yourself, it must be an emergency, because why would there be another fire alarm? Is that what went through your mind?
Not initially, but I was just standing there with my teacher. We didn't really know what was going on, but once we saw the students running, then I started to think, like, what's happening? And then I heard the gunshots, and I was like, oh my God, I just ran.
And just in the past half hour or so, police confirm the suspected shooter is now in custody. And President Trump tweeting today, quote, "My prayers and condolences to the families of the victims of the terrible Florida shooting. No child, teacher, or anyone else should ever feel unsafe in an American school."
And we'll continue to monitor this breaking story for you as those number of victims could change. We'll have updates throughout the hour, but we're also streaming coverage from Florida for you on WDTN.com.
We continue to follow the breaking news developing in the southern tip of New York City. Tonight, again, 6 people dead, 15 others injured. City officials briefing us right now. Let's listen in.
Good afternoon, everybody. Steve, we good? Yes, sir. All right. Just keep in mind, this incident occurred a little more than 2 hours ago, so all the information that we're giving you right now is preliminary and subject to change.
A busy news day, and this is 5 on 2.
Police from all over Montgomery County responding to Huber Heights today after police issue a call for help. Police are still inside an AT&T store in Huber Heights after they say suspects broke in during broad daylight. They then led police on a chase, which ended in a crash and several arrests.
2 News reporter Jordan Bowen has more on the story we first brought you as breaking news on First at 4.
Well, Mark and Brooke, police have been here for the last 2 hours, removing several items from the suspect's white Honda Pilot SUV seen here. We've seen several cell phones removed, as well as a gun. You're looking at the crash site involving 3 cars here at the corner of Longford Road and Harshmanville Road in Huber Heights.
The National Weather Service now confirming that 2 EF2 tornadoes touched down up in Mercer County Sunday afternoon. We welcome you in to 5 on 2. At least 8 people injured there and several businesses damaged and a lot of power still out.
Yeah, we have 2 news reporters, Dana Smith, Ethan Fitzgerald, live with the latest on the cleanup efforts across the Miami Valley tonight. But first, here's what we know so far. In Salina, police reported seeing a funnel cloud moving towards the city just after 2 p.m. Sunday. The tornado entered the city from the southwest, damaging a house on Lakeshore Drive before moving northeast. It continued northeast, crossing the lake and damaging several businesses and homes on East Market Street. The tornado was on the ground for 8 miles with winds up to 120 miles per hour. The second confirmed tornado was in Wabash and left an 8-mile path in Ohio and a 30-mile path in Indiana.
And there is widespread damage in Mercer County today after that tornado touched down in that area Sunday. A lot of people still without power as well, and there were injuries.
Yeah, 2 News reporter Dana Smith is joining us live now with a look at restoration efforts.
Yeah, that's right, Mark and Brooke. These crews right here behind me are actually working to restore power.
This day after the president's first State of the Union address, we are breaking down his key points and where the nation goes from here. Joining us live, we welcome back Dr. Mark Clausen, professor of history and law at Cedarville University. Mark, you've now had a night and part of a day to sleep on it, analyze it. Just give me your basic take on what you heard last night, what you liked, and maybe what you didn't care for.
Well, thanks for having me. First of all, I thought the tone was dignified and his words were measured. He was careful in what he said.
Hidden Figures is one of the most acclaimed films of the year. It's the untold story of three African-American women in the early 1960s who were brilliant mathematicians and engineers who helped launch Ohio's own John Glenn into space and faced racism and sexism while getting it done. And in honor of Black History Month, the National Society of Black Engineers and Boeing is hosting the 2017 Hidden Figures Mixer and Power Panel discussion in Dayton. It is tonight at 6 o'clock at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force Museum, and we're honored to be joined by the Executive Director of the NSBE, Carl Reed, and Hidden Figures actress Karen Kendrick. Thank you so much for being here, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
This is really awesome. Karen, you played the mother of one of these three women, Katherine Johnson. Were you even aware of this story before you were presented with this script?
I was not. Like many of my colleagues, friends, family, we had never heard the story before. And I think that what NSBE is doing, what Boeing is doing in terms of presenting this information in a way that's very accessible, there's a conversation around it. I think what's important about it is the fact that it not only reinforces the story, but reinforces the idea that representation matters. And it's so incredibly awesome to see light bulbs come on in these discussions, to see people really see themselves not only in the discussion but in the film. And I have to wonder how much higher we'll go when young girls have this story at such a young age. You know, I'm excited to see what that's going to mean in 10, 20, 30 years. So really glad for the film. I think it's wonderful that it's being received so well, and really, really excited about the conversation that's happening.
Really appreciate it. And thank you so much, Carl Reed and Karen Kendrick, for taking time to come here and talk with us about this. The event, you can still attend tonight. Again, here are the details, 6 o'clock at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force. The event is free to the public, so go check that out. The movie, of course, Hidden Figures, is a Best Picture nominee, so we're rooting for you guys there as well.
Yeah.
Already a winner and on many levels.
Thank you.
In Pyeongchang alongside Jean Kim, who has our Korean word of the day.
It's 맛있어요.
And that means?
Delicious.
We picked that word, of course, because look at all of these delicious desserts. That's your Korean word of the day.
All right. Masasuyo.
Masasuyo, there we go.
It's one of the fun things about traveling is you get to try all the different
you learn some
cuisines.
new words and different foods, yeah.
There
Great
you go.
foods.
I keep waiting for one to really trip us up, but we've done okay so far, I think, right?
Well, yeah, as long as we keep Champignon
Coffee.
and Cafe coming, we're going to be okay, yeah.
The easy ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, you can catch the Olympic Zone. A lot of you are watching. We appreciate it. Brooke and I will see you tonight at 7:30 with that right here on WDT.